Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Hard 100, a video series documenting the culling of my collection down to a mere 100 games. A little bit of a refresher on the rules. There are only 3. Rule number 1, I can't get rid of a game until I played it, but luckily for you, Phil and I went to a board game cafe a few weeks ago and played a couple of games. Rule number 2, a game plus the expansion equals 1 game, even if it spills out to the other box. And rule number 3, once I get this business down to a Hard 100, it's 1 in, 1 out. Around 6 months ago, I bought a game that looked fantastic. I watched a few videos on it. I watched the Board Game Geek. I watched, I think, a Dice Tower. I watched a couple of reviews for it. And the game itself looked right up my alley. It looked like it would be great for my family. It looked like it would be great for my friends. It looked like it would be really, really good. I'm sad to say that a few weeks ago, I found out that all that was for naught. And what I actually had sitting in my collection was a bit of a bomb. Not in a good way. Today, pie. Welcome to Pie Town, Spies, Lies, and Apple Pies by Renegade Games and Daniel Fremgen. Fremgen is a game of, as it says, Spies, Lies, and Apple Pies. There's a lot of apples in this game. This is a worker placement game where you use dice as worker and you level those dice up and down. Goal of the game is to win, and you win by basically having the most pie points, or whatever they are. Now, the gimmick in this, other than the dice workers, is the fact that everyone starts with a little box for a secret recipe. And if you build the secret recipe, then you get more points. And if you can figure out your opponent's secret recipe, then you get those points as well. So you have a little dry erase marker and you're trying to figure out what it is, and you're like, oh, deduction. And as you use your workers, they can have level up or level down based on kind of how they go. So if I need a new worker, I would put my person on the higher space. And after it's done, I get my extra additional worker die, and then I have to take that original die down 2, so to a minimum of 1. It kind of helps you realize that you need certain workers for certain spots. And then if you ever want to go pick ingredients, you go to the little tree, and there's a whole bunch of different things you can do. I will start by saying that there are a lot of games that have a game mechanic, and the first person to use this mechanic is going to ruin the game for everybody. In this game, it is actually the spy mechanic. Putting your die on top of someone else's die allows you to look into their box to allow them to look at up to 1, 2, or 3 ingredients in the box. And then it's up to the other person to go to other spaces to try to rearrange the secret ingredient by the end. Or there are a lot of turns in this game, and there are a lot of turns where you feel like you're doing nothing. Making the pies is awesome. Like if you were to take the entire spy element out or tweak it to where no matter what, you just have to be above and you can always just look at 1, that might be good. But as we quickly found out, or as Phil found out, let's say you have a die in the apple tree and you have a 1 and you take 1 ingredient for something. And my big badass self comes and puts a 6 on there. I get to look at every ingredient in your box and take 6 apples off the tree, or 6 ingredients. Having the ability to do the spy power and the space power is devastating, especially in the later game. It's not fun. So we talked a few videos ago about the tedium, I think I'm using that word correctly, of a game like Dream Home, where you have your row of cards and every turn you're wiping and refilling, wiping and refilling, wiping and refilling. This game has a very similar thing where you have your tree, and after every turn, no matter if anyone went there or not, there were turns when only one of us went there and took like 2 ingredients. You wipe the whole thing and you do Billy's favorite thing, pulling things out of a bag and loading it up. It was tedious. Sometimes we got through halfway through the second turn before we realized we didn't refill the board. This game suffers from a big problem. In most worker placement games, you have a lot of options. This game gives you a few options to do in your turn. The problem is once you get to a certain point, I would say the last 4 or 5 turns, and there are only 12 rounds. The last 4 or 5 turns mean nothing. There is not enough to do. If one person goes up there, by then you're working with high level workers. So when someone goes up to the tree, they plop down a worker and take a lot of stuff. And if you don't want to take a lot of stuff from the tree because you can only hold so much in your box or your bag or your kitchen, your storage, there's nothing to do. The game is bad. The game is poorly designed with a couple of very glaring issues. And I know a lot of people like this game, and there are some families that really like this game. I'm never playing this game again. We barely got through it the once. This was table flipping, and the only thing that saved it was I got some chicken tenders with some really weird cheese sauce. But this game was, making the pies is fine, like just going out to get the ingredients and that kind of stuff, and the idea of the workers and doing actions more than one time and getting paid to do certain things. And the pie system, the Yoshi's Cookie Mario, Dr. Mario style pie thing of selling pies and whatnot, it's pretty good. I like the idea of having a secret recipe and having to make pies of more than one type so no one can figure it out. It's just the secret recipe thing is busted. Busted as hell. And didn't like it. It wasn't fun. We had just come off of a game of Shadows in Kyoto, and it was great. And that was after another game that we played that wasn't so good. So it was like every other game we were playing was just not, it was all flash, all filler, no killer, as they say. No one says that. But this little box hides lies. Spies lies. Lies, lies, and apple lies. The art's fine, all the characters are the exact same. All the boards are the exact same, just a little different color. Let's go housekeep. Bing, bing, housekeeping. 2 to 4 players. I can't imagine how this would be any more fun with more players. You have more spots to go on the tree, but you're just 60 to 90 minutes. Oh my God, we played this. It took maybe close to 45 minutes to an hour, and it was a long hour. I would rather spend that time looking into an oven watching an actual pie bake, because at the end of that, I got pie, and at the end of this, I got a headache. Ages 14 and up. The hell? What? No. Maybe because you don't want to introduce your kids to misery before a certain age, but no. I call bullshit. 14 and up my ass. Game design, Daniel Fremgen. I know you got some good ideas in here, man. You really do. But it's not great. It's not even good. As far as some of the game, I've only had 1 or 2 games that I thought were boring or bad. And this, I would rather play Energy Empire, or I would rather play Harbor, or any of the other games that I've gotten rid of so far. Even fucking Dinosaur Game with the pew-pews and the Abraham Lincolns is better than this. This will never get played again, not by me at least. Man. Illustration, Charlie Bink. Good job, Charlie Bink. It looks really good. This box got me to buy the game. This beautiful thing and the idea of having a secret recipe and spying on others. This is not a deduction game. There's no deduction here. It's looking at what you have and writing it down. That's not deduction. This is a deduction game. This is a deduction game. This is a game of writing stuff down and not rolling dice. I don't have a problem you putting dice in game and I'm not rolling them, but let a man roll a die. Components are great. Wish they were a better game though. All right, so this is Welcome to Pie Town, Spies, Lies, and Apple Guys. It's out. I can't, it's not going back on my shelf. It'll come to one of you. It might be good for your shelf, but it sure as shit is not good for mine. It was actively unfun. It wasn't even passively unfun. Like, passively unfun is just boring. Like, oh, I see what they're doing, that's clever, okay, but it's not fun. This was actively trying to make you dislike it. Good job, Pie Town. Welcome to. Again, my name is Billy. This is the Hard 100. I gotta get hard for these things, and this one, not even a little, not even a wiggle. This game is out. So again, my name is Billy, Hard 100. You know me, I know you. Peace be with you. Thank you so much. Peace out. Have you found the rule yet?